TJ.
This is Bud Jones, police chief in Andrews.
Hey.
Call
Yeah.
from you.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Hey.
What can I do for you?
Well, we're getting ready to we're planning an event down there, and I was trying to get a permit.
Okay.
I don't.
Well,
I don't.
off, before you go too far, let me explain something to you.
Okay.
The incident where y'all are protesting for this guy that was charged with a charge, and y'all think it's unlawful. Number one, you don't know the real story behind that. If you did, you'd be embarrassed to even have anything to do with this deal because of how this thing shook out.
Oh, okay. Well, please, I mean, I just let me know.
Here's the thing. You want to talk to me about this, I'll be happy to visit with you, but I will not do it. I will do it face to face, not sitting on you on one end, me on the other. And these issues that you're talking about, you want to help the police, then you need to come down here and sit and visit with me one-on-one, okay?
Well, I'm out here. I'm out of Temple, Texas.
Well,
that's where the organization is out of.
I understand that, but Mr. Grisham, I have to deal with safety and welfare of the community.
Yeah.
And I certainly have done that for over 25 years. And one of your constituents said that they wanted to come up here and educate the citizens of Andrews. Andrews and Andrews County don't need educating. We got more guns in this county than you can shake a stick at. I guarantee you. I know these people well. So,
well, I don't know what, Chief. I don't know who's called you. If they've called you, it hasn't been official.
It's the big boy out of Midland that says he's was in charge of the rally Saturday.
Oh, that was the Katy rally. Yeah.
Well. Anyway, here's the thing. There is a process to go through, and it can't be done over the telephone in a fair manner. And I hadn't had a chance to. They were lucky. They were real lucky. They was two of those. I didn't know until I was in Midland, about 50 miles from town, and at the time I knew that everybody had left. But on the video that I saw on the news, at least two of these individuals were openly carrying pistols in their holster, exposed. And
no, those weren't pistols, sir. Those were black powder revolvers.
Well, they still see again. So you're throwing this at me like, well, nobody knows that. Nobody knows that.
Well,
we didn't have a big confrontation with them.
Yeah.
We didn't want a confrontation with them. But they picked bad spots. They're lucky too. They wanted to go back to 7-Eleven, and unbeknown to them, since this incident occurred with Mr. Posey, that 7-Eleven now sells beer.
Right.
They would have been in trouble walking in there carrying long guns into a place that sells alcohol.
Well, and that's something else.
Nothing happened, and I'm still not clear on what, So rather than you and I sit here and beat this up, number one, I am in control of what goes on in this community. I protect these people. These people want me to protect them, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, I also would die to protect your rights and their rights to keep and bear arms.
Right.
And, but what's happened is for the last 15, 18 years, there's been all of these horrendous acts that has brought a lot of notoriety to people that own farms. And it's unfortunate. We all know that, you can't control people that are hell-bent on getting revenge or that's mentally disturbed. We understand that.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be something done about that. But seeing people walk down the street carrying guns scares the hell out of a lot of people.
Well, and yes, sir, that's we understand that.
That's not well. And how am I supposed to react with my officers when we get a call of two men walking down the street carrying AR-15s? Do we react as, well, they're just good old boys invoking their constitutional rights, or are they planning on walking into a building and start shooting? Now, how do we approach that?
Well,
how do we deal with that?
If I can talk, I'll definitely explain that to you. first of all, everything that we do, sir, is perfectly legal and by the book. We have a major education. I still can't talk and finish I can't finish a comment. I'm trying to explain that to you, sir.
Okay.
And so when you see people openly carrying what looks like a pistol, 99.99% of the time it's going to be a black powder revolver, which is perfectly legal to open carry. And all
there's some debate about that.
No, there's no debate, sir. It's perfectly. I mean, it's perfectly legal. The AG has said so.
Pull it out and shoot somebody at a gas pump. Is it still perfectly legal?
It's not perfectly legal to shoot somebody unjustifiably, whether you use a BB gun or a semi-automatic rifle. I mean, but you're using hyperbole and straw men. But
people don't know.
Well, I know that, sir, and that's what we do. That's what our whole point is to educate people. And the reason that we carry these firearms, look, I'm not saying that we don't want law enforcement involvement. We're not saying stay away from us. You guys have a job to do, and we recognize that, and we understand it's a difficult job because you guys have to weigh the complaint that may come in from someone that doesn't understand, or perhaps from someone that doesn't even like guns and just doesn't want to see them. So when you respond to, two guys carrying AR-15s, we understand that. We respect that and we accept that. But it's very easy to tell somebody that's got ill intent versus somebody that's just out exercising their rights.
No, it's not. You're dead wrong there. You can't tell the mindset of people. You
can't tell the mindset. But if you see guys walking around with rifles on their backs, they're obviously not going to do anything. They're not doing anything wrong.
Well, so if they're walking up and down the street for 4 hours, am I supposed to have somebody sit and watch them for 4 hours?
Not at all. I mean, that's up to you. Obviously, I can't tell you how to run your department.
No. I'm going to tell you what. You need to, whether you live in Temple or whether you live in wherever, we're going to have to sit down face to face and deal with this issue, okay? Because ultimately the council is not going to go for issuing a parade permit until they know more than what you're telling me on the phone, okay?
Oh, okay. Now,
I tell you what, you can go.
Sir,
can go before the council. You can get on the agenda.
Is that what every permit holder has to do?
That's what they do for parades. That's what they do. For,
but we're not doing parades, sir.
Well, okay. So you just for a rally? Well, still.
No, we're not even doing a rally. We're.
So what are you going to do?
Well, what I'm asking for, we're going to probably do a rally, but it's going to include a walk that won't include shutting down any roads. It's going to be a mostly stationary rally, and the goal of it, of course, is to basically exercise our rights within the constraints of the law. The permit process in 4244 is very specific to funeral processions and parades, and therefore, if you've got 5-10 guys, I mean, what is the city's definition of a parade?
Well, that's just it. It can be 2 or it can be 20.
But it's got to be defined for it to
Okay. Well, then you need to talk to the city attorney, and or the folks that I'm not the one that writes these codes. I just enforce.
Right. Well, since there's not a definition in the municipal code, you have to go to the state definition.
Okay. Well, no, because we're a home rule charter.
Well, I realize you're a home rule charter. That means that you guys can create codes, municipal codes, and ordinances. That's what home rule is. I mean, every city with more than 5,000 people is home rule.
Well, not necessarily.
Well, I mean, they might not apply for it, but you can't be home rule unless you've got at least 5,000 citizens. And nearly every city is home rule. And what home rule does, as opposed to non-home rule, which is general law, home rule just allows cities to pass ordinances and collect additional fees and taxes. But you guys, even though you're a home rule city, you have not defined parade, so therefore you have to go under the general law definition of parade.
You're asking me to define it, and I'm not the one that wrote it.
Right, but if we're telling you we're not doing a parade, then how can we get cited for violating a parade statute? I mean, that's
the question that you're going to have to come in. We're going to have to. I think this needs to be, when everybody gets back in the office. I'll run it by the city attorney and the city manager, and see which avenue they want to take. Do they want you to come in and get if they think this is an issue that the council needs to deal with? Because the council does issue certain types of permits.
Right.
And this may be something that doesn't fall under 4244 that they're going to have to address in a different way. But that's what I'm telling you. You need to come in so we can sit down and talk, and then I'll let other people get into the mix, not just me. You know, the other people can get into the mix, and they can, you know, then whatever they decide and whatever's deemed, you know, lawful and what they want to do, I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with just, you know, doing things that number one, this is contrary to what you say. Y'all are doing a heck of a lot more harm to the right to bear arms than you realize.
I disagree with you, sir, because we've actually grown. We've grown so well, and we've grown so much over the past. The things that we do are perfectly legal. We don't threaten people. What we ask is, and here's where
you scare people.
No, but you know why? Because you're helping them.
No, I'm not helping.
Sir, when you show up, listen. When you show up, when we've got guys that are peacefully assembling, that are just walking down the road, not harming anybody.
Why do you
can I please finish a statement without you? I mean, I let you talk, sir. I really do. And I'm just trying to get my point across, and I can't because you keep cutting me off. All I want to do is respectfully explain myself like you were able to explain yourself. That's all I'm asking.
Okay.
And so when we have police officers that get called, and we understand you're going to get calls. We understand that. We really do. We expect it for two reasons. One, people aren't used to it. And two, because there are people that just hate guns. Even in Andrews County, you have anti-gun people that are out there.
I'm sure there's a few, but
right.
90% not.
But when the people come out there, or when the police come out there and the people see that you guys, instead of recognizing that we have the right to do what we're doing, you guys force us to leave, that adds to that fear. Oh my gosh, these guys must be doing something wrong because the police are coming after them and telling them to leave. Instead of recognizing that we have that right, here's what we would like. And I know Andrews is different because you guys don't have a big police force, but we always call the police departments and let them know, hey, just so you guys know, we're going to be walking in this area. And often what they'll do is they'll send a police officer who's not doing anything to monitor. That way, in case somebody calls and says, hey, these guys are threatening me, you know, the officer is there to say, no, they're not. So it serves that purpose to protect us, but it also serves the purpose of educating the public that what we're doing is not illegal, because here's the police honoring and respecting our rights to carry arms legally according to Texas law, and they're not doing anything wrong. So if they see an officer either shadowing us or walking with us or just nearby watching, then they recognize that, oh, okay, I don't need to call because the police are already aware. And that's the education process, because people see people with guns that aren't committing crimes, that aren't threatening people, and they realize that, oh, wait, maybe it's not guns that are a problem, it's the people that are the problem.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you I'm going to mention some here to you.
Okay.
Okay. Let me talk to the. You know, you may, if the city determines that you need a permit to do this, then we can go through the channels and I can issue the permit.
And we have no problem getting permits, sir. None at all.
Okay. But just give me, oh Lord, today's, you know, this last week has been hell. Ain't nobody working but us.
Yeah, I understand.
So let me see what their heartbeat is, and if they don't have an issue with it, we can draw up some sort of a permit, and then when you show up for the rally, I'll assign somebody to shadow.
Okay.
If they go along, and then if they don't go along with that idea, then I'll let you know that too, and you can do whatever you think.
Right. Well, at the very least, Chief, what we're going to do is we are going to apply for the permit.
Right.
And the reason we're going to apply for it is because we can't sue the city until we're denied a permit. And that's our second. You know, if we're denied a permit to exercise our rights, then what we do next is we file a lawsuit against the city.
Okay.
And I can only do that if I have a denied permit.
Okay.
So
Well,
that's our second course of action.
Well, then that's see, now we're going to cut this conversation off.
No. I'm not saying I'm suing you guys. There's no lawsuit threat. No. I said if a permit is denied, that's the next.
You're saying you're going to sue me.
No. I'm not going to sue you, sir.
You don't. Yeah, you are. You just said you was.
Are you the city?
I work for the city.
Okay,
yes,
but you won't be a defendant in the case.
I'm a department head.
Okay, but I have not said there's any pending legal action because, as far as we know, there's no denied permit, right? So there's no legal action at all.
Okay. Well, let me see what.
Again, we want to work with you guys. We don't want to work against you guys. We want to work with you. The only thing is we're not going to allow without a fight, and what I mean is a peaceful legal fight. Without a fight, we're not going to allow anyone to violate our rights. We understand Texas law. This is a statewide issue. We're trying to get open carry of pistols passed. We can't open carry pistols except for black powder revolvers that are pre-1899 replicas, and we can carry long arms. And so what we do is we carry these to get people comfortable so that when we do get open carry passed, people aren't freaking out.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, I think this is not the best way to get your point across, but if that's what you want to do, then I will give the city secretary a heads up, and you may want to. He's not in. He won't be back in till probably Thursday.
Is that Mr. Copeland?
No. Sarah Copeland is.
Or Miss Copeland, okay.
Is the city manager's administrative secretary.
Oh, okay. That's who I sent the request for permit through.
Sent the request to. Well, she just forwarded it on to me.
Oh, okay.
But Steve wasn't here. But it actually needs to go to the city secretary.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so his name is Steve Eggleston, Eggleston, 432-523-4820, and he should be back in the office Thursday.
4820. I'm sorry, can you 4820? You said 523-4820?
523-4820.
And it's 532 is the or 432 is the first.
432.
432.
Yeah.
And Eggleston.
And then he can, if they want to draw up a permit, and then we'd have to have specific dates and times and so forth and so on that you're going to do it, because we can't afford to
Well, we're looking at February 23rd. February 23rd is the day we're eyeing right now. Just to give you kind of a.
Okay, well, just tell him that.
Okay.
When you talk to him.
All right.
And just let him know that you and I have talked, and I'm waiting on them, and if I see him Thursday, I'll talk to him and tell him that you'll be giving him a call.
Yeah, Chief. Again, we don't want to be adversarial. We honestly and truly want to work with law enforcement because that's how we create positive change.
Do y'all realize that we're really on your side?
Well, if that were true, though, sir, we wouldn't have the problems that we're having.
No, but you have got to understand, though, when we have to balance between people carrying weapons up and down the street and the rights of you to do that. If things hadn't happened over the last 20 years, you wouldn't. Hell, I used to live down the hill country. And we carried rifles and shotguns in our cars and our trucks. We'd get out, walk into a feed store, and go in the back of the store and look at, take out our guns and go in there, and people would look at them, trade guns in the back of a feed store. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. I'm a farming family.
Nobody cared. Nobody said a word. But unfortunately, things have happened that has made people very, very nervous.
Well, and I understand that. And, one of the things
But understand where I'm coming from. I'm trying to balance. See, we've never had to deal with this. I mean, this. And then, see, the guy that out of Midland, I asked him to come and apply for a permit, and he just ignored it and came over here anyway. Yeah,
and I'll be honest, the way that the permit ordinance is written for what they're doing, it doesn't tend to apply, and that's why I think the city council needs to, because there's no definition of a parade, and we're not parade. The Black's Law Dictionary of parade is a procession for a, how does it word? I'm not at my computer right now, but basically for an event, golly, I can't believe I've been quoting this all day to people. But anyway, it's a certain occasion. It's not just, a couple guys getting together to exercise their rights and hand out pamphlets. And I guess where we're able to walk around literally downtown Austin, downtown Fort Worth and Dallas, downtown Houston and San Antonio, carrying the exact same weapons, and yet in the small town of Andrews, we're not allowed to do that. That just doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's the thing. A certain individual put a bad taste and scared the hell out of the people at the 7-Eleven, okay?
Mm-hmm. And that's understandable, if they don't. And what we tell people is to go send somebody that's unarmed in there and ask them, hey, we've got law-abiding citizens. Do you mind if we come in with our weapons? That's what they're supposed to be doing. That's what we advise our people to do.
This is what got these folks stirred up out of Midland, was this guy that lives here who is.
Is it James Franklin?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a guy out of Midland.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, well.
All right.
City secretary he'll know what his course of action is, and if they issue a permit or give you a verbal blessing, then we still need to know what you're going to do when you're going to do it.
Yes, sir. And I'll come down there personally a couple weeks prior to the event, and then we can sit down and talk at that point.
Okay. That's what I like better.
Okay.
I'm not real good on the phone.
No problem.
Well, I mean, I've never been a phone person. I've always been across the table,
Yeah. Well,
I just like to do that better. But anyway, we'll work through this.
All right, Chief. Hey, I appreciate the phone call.
Yeah, we're not going to turn you away just for the soul. If there's a way to do this without it being to scare people, I'm okay with that. It's just
right. Well, what concerns me as a Texan, and I'm a fourth generation Texan, is that we've gotten to an area where it appears that our rights are dependent upon other people's emotions, and that's dangerous.
You're right.
That's very dangerous.
I agree. But here's the thing, again, if because of all of these major, killings and whatnot over the years, people that used to be okay are now real skittish. You want to hear a weird statistic? Did you know that nearly 20% of homicides are conducted by LEOs, according to the FBI? And when I say homicide, it's unjustified killing. And yet, we're not. I said 20, nearly. It's like 18-point-something% of homicides are created by law enforcement officers or security type personnel, people with that are lawful. Yeah, I believe that.
But we're not trying to take guns from police officers. We're trying to take them from the people.
Well, we're not. We're opposed to that 125.
Oh, yeah. And I don't mean you. I don't mean you. I mean this country.
Let me tell you a little story. I've got guys here in this town that will walk up and talk to me about guns, and they'll say, hey, can you come over here and look at this, come over here and look at that? And I do it all the time. And I don't say nothing. I don't care. Those people are not, I'm not scared of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My officers are not scared of people that's asking questions like guns or stuff. Come and look at this gun or that gun. And, people carry pistols in their car now, in their console, because it's legal. It's
right.
Under the, Castle Doctrine. I loved it. I loved that. That was the best thing since sliced bread. So there's a lot of these older folks that don't have a concealed carry, but they carry their trusty little 38 in their car, and I'm glad they do.
Yeah, and we don't like walking around with AR-15s and shotguns and all that kind of stuff, but unfortunately, it's the only thing we can legally do. And once we get concealed or open carry of pistols passed, I bet you probably never see that again because it's uncomfortable. It's out of
and don't get me. And I'm not even I'm not opposed to whatever the legislators do on that. Fine with me. Now some of the big city guys don't like that. Contrary to what you may think, Houston, Fort Worth, and Dallas, and Houston.
Oh, I know they don't like it, but they at least allow it because they know that it's legal.
Well, I'm talking about open carry.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not talking. Oh yeah, no, they know that, and you're probably going to be okay getting a permit, and you may not even need it. I mean, they may decide you don't even need it once you talk to the city secretary. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, he may decide you don't even because he's not legal, but he goes through all of this stuff all the time.
Yes, sir.
We deal with the ordinances. Most of our ordinances deal with dogs and trash and traffic. So we don't mess with these.
All right.
To do with So anyway.
And let me tell you one more thing before I let you go, Chief. If you get any calls and they're making any kinds of threats or they're being hostile and all that, they do not represent Open Carry Texas. That is not what we're about.
Does this guy Franklin, does he represent y'all?
He is a member of Katie, which is Come and Take It. But he also supports OCT. And I've actually been speaking with James Franklin and trying to help him to be a little bit more diplomatic in the way that he does it. Now,
they jumped on the bandwagon of dealing with this individual who they're saying, well, the officer didn't charge him with any kind of weapons offense. So what he did, he tried just to talk to him, and he kept walking away from us, wouldn't stop. And he finally wound up right under the courthouse, on the courthouse parking lot, right under the third floor of the jail. And he just kept, he refused to, cooperate. So he was detained. And he would have been detained had he not even had the weapons because he didn't want to identify himself.
Well, now you understand that the requirement to ID is only if somebody's under arrest. That's what the law says.
There was more to it than we have a right to make sure that this guy's not up to no good. When we got multiple phone calls, 911 calls on him, so that's all we're trying to do is find out, hey, what's going on.
Right. Right.
Didn't want to cooperate. He does have to cooperate because we had reasonable suspicion to at least talk to him and ID him. And I'm not going to try the case on telephone.
Yeah, I understand.
That was most police officers would have done the same thing, especially under the circumstances because nobody knew who he was. So.
Well, right, but you do recognize that unless somebody is...
We didn't know what he was... all he had to do was just say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I live over here, and I'm headed home. And, okay, you're okay. You're not about... okay. He didn't do that. He was very hostile. So. Long and short, we'll be talking to you later. And
yes, sir. Thanks for the phone call.
Yeah, and check in with... Eggleston, Mr.
Eggleston. Okay, got it.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.